Ever wondered what happened to some of the damaged timber from the Christchurch earthquakes? Well, some of it ended up in the care of Steve Evans. RNZ's Mark Leishman went to meet Steve at his mill in Oxford.
Well, for my first country life adventure, I'm in Oxford, North Canterbury. It's a country town of about 2,000 people, nestled in the Canterbury foothills, and like all Kiwi towns, there's always something to explore. Well, I've just pulled up at a rather intriguing address, very rustic, almost medieval entrance. It's a mix of river stones, no doubt from the braided rivers nearby, like the Waimakariri or the Aire, and aged wood with these sentinel-like pointed upright poles. They look like giant lead pencils. And they bear the sign for the business called Ironbark Re-Engineered. And the name on the sign says Steve. So, I'm going to explore. I'm going to meet Steve and find out what Ironbark actually is. Hello. Hello, buddy. Yes, I'm here. G'day, you must be Steve. I'm Mark Leishman from Country Life. How are you?
Yeah, good mate. Yep.
I saw the sign and I was quite intrigued by the sign itself, because it's got a kind of medieval feel to it, you know what I mean, about this ironbark. And I guess the first question is, what is ironbark?
Well, it's actually an Australian hardwood. It's one of the eucalypt species. Most people don't really know what it is, but if you relate it to jarrah, most people know what jarrah is.
Yeah.
And that's just another. Ironbark is actually a lot harder than what a jarrah is.
Yeah. And so, I mean, where do you get it from? And you seem to have copious quantities of it here. You're not running out.
No, that's for sure. It comes from, a lot of the product we've got come from the Lyttelton wharves. After the earthquakes, a lot of those got damaged, and they were and still are being replaced.
Concrete going that way, I presume. It's all concrete now, is it?
No, I think there's still a lot of ironbark being used, but new stuff that's coming in from Australia.
So you can still get brand new ironbark?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the species that's continually logged over in Australia, and a lot of it is imported in here for cladding, flooring, decking, internal beams, rafters, yeah.
But ironbark hasn't always been his calling. His varied career began baking pies as a pastry chef.
I did my apprenticeship and then I got out of it, and I enjoyed hunting, so I went hunting after that. Joined the Forest Service for a while, deer culling, then got into helicopters. Yeah.
What was with Tim Wallace those days of tasting deer from the chopper?
Yeah, hunting first and then getting into live capture.
Pretty adventurous stuff.
Yeah, you can reminisce all day. But yeah, after that I went fishing, bought a fishing boat and went commercial fishing for a while.
And then got into the wood?
I was logging and ended up having an accident in the bush and had to get out of there while I mended for a couple of years. So we ended up buying a small takeaway, which we turned into a takeaway bakery.
Yeah.
And a few years in there got me over being inside again. So yeah, my son then started flying. We got out of that and I just wanted something different.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing a bit of logging, got into a bit of firewood, and also landscaping.
Steve loves his machinery, from bandsaws, the ubiquitous chainsaws of all lengths, but his favourite would have to be a Kiwi classic, an impressive circular saw.
So Steve, tell us about the machine.
This is what's called a Mahui super mill. This is a friction mill. The blade and engine system runs up and down on a big beam.
Right.
And the speed's controlled by
the lever
friction
there.
lever. Yeah.
So Mahui, it's a Māori word. It's a local brand.
They're built up in the North Island. A couple of brothers have been building them for years. Bergmans.
And highly recommended, eh?
Oh yeah, marvellous piece of gear. Maui, that's where they're built.
Right.
Yeah, by Sawmills New Zealand is the company that build them.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a world leader in working wood. And it's a bit noisy.
Oh, well, engine noise. I'll crank it up in a minute and you can...
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's crank it up.
Right.
Steve, how did you get into this business?
We've always, when we were logging, we always come across, especially around old farm buildings, we come across a lot of old timber. I've always been interested in old recycled timber. We started collecting it and mainly turning it into landscaping product. And as we got more and more of it, we started looking what we could do, get better value out of it, and also give it some longevity rather than turn it into firewood or, just turn good product into landscaping stuff that could otherwise get away with a bit of inferior stuff.
The twin blades on the Maui, the vertical one has a diameter of 780 mils and the horizontal is half the size. Together they skim across the beam, shaving an 8mm cut or kerf off the wood.
Now, who's your wee mate down here? Who's the guard dog?
Oh, yeah.
What's her name?
Sue.
Sue. Sweet Sue.
Yeah.
Hello, Sue.
Getting a bit old now.
See, we Jack Russell.
Yeah.
A long coat or rough coat Jack Russell.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, she gave us a hurry up when we arrived, so she's doing the business. So a lot of this wood, as I say, it's got this real genuine rustic look about it. Where does it end up?
It mainly ends up in new builds. We do landscaping. The stuff that's not structural enough for new builds goes into landscaping.
Right.
But we do a lot mainly for internals. They build rafters out of them and
Places like what? Holiday homes? And people want that particular look, don't they?
Yeah, it goes into wineries and more high-end stuff.
So the tourist turns up and it looks like it's been there for 100 years.
Yeah.
It's been there for 2.
Yeah, unfortunately it's the sort of thing that's costly to turn into beams, and timber. So it's not the sort of thing that a lot of everyday people use.
You might wander over here, this pile of huge poles really look as though they're straight out of Lyttelton Harbour.
Yeah, the ones with the driving points.
So the pointed, they look like I described it like a pencil, a lead pencil upright.
A lot of people think they look quite like a Viking type helmet, but they put them on there just for the ease of driving them into the harbour floor. They're called a driving point, and they've got a solid arrowhead end on them, and then they've got 4 actually bits of steel welded to them.
Yeah, which come to a point.
Yeah. And the pile itself is actually sawn to accommodate the shape of the driving point.
Of the point, the driving point. Amazing, isn't it? So how old would something like that be? It looks like it's out of the Middle Ages.
Yeah, they were put in Lyttelton when we got them. They'd been in the water for 56 years. So, yeah, they were probably 59 odd years. Wow. Yeah.
Did all that heavy lifting for all that time, eh?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the main advantage of this particular wood, which is ironbark, it's known as ironbark, is that it's just its strength. It's tough as old boots.
Yeah, well, it's definitely got, even turning it into the new builds now, it's got another 80 to 100 years life. Certainly a lot longer than new treated timbers that they use.
It's incredible, isn't it? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great to be reusing it again. Is this the oldest one you got?
Yeah, we've always done a bit of landscaping where we could get power poles or other forms of eucalypt, especially around farms that have a lot of old barns that have various types of beams in them. We used to collect them wherever we could get them.
So I get the impression that you don't like chucking stuff away. You like reusing it. You're a recycler. You're a man ahead of your time.
I mean, it makes beautiful hot burning firewood, but it hurts me to turn it into firewood. But we actually, with trimmings we get and that, we actually end up with a bit of it as firewood.
All the offcuts and that.
Yeah.
With nearly a kilometre of wood stacked on the property, it needs to be well organised. And perhaps Steve's early days of working in tidy kitchens hints at why his lumberyard is very ordered.
Oh no, I've just been always a believer, if you work in a mess, your end product ends up in a mess. Yeah, I don't like working inside.
It's an amazing property, actually. It's very long and very narrow, isn't it?
It's 2.5 acres. It's part of the old railway corridor.
Oh, okay.
And
so the train used to come through here?
Yeah, the old train lines used to come right through Oxford. There was a station up the end of this property, and over by where the Working Men's Club, there used to be a stock station, railway stock station.
Where was the train bound for? Was it heading to the coast? Or
Yeah, well, in the early days, there used to be a lot of logging up in the native around Mount Oxford, so there was quite a few mills. So there was train lines coming in here, but yeah, came from the old coast line, I guess, and ended up going through Rangiora. I don't know where it ended up from there.
As its name implies, ironbark is very hard wood, and Steve says most conventional sawmillers won't touch it.
Yeah, they don't like it. It's just too hard a wood to work with.
it's hard on the machinery.
It is, yeah.
So
You've got to have a passion to work with this stuff.
How often do you have to change blades and things?
Oh no, we're resharpening all the time. Yeah, it cuts nice, cuts easy, as long as your blades are sharp, keep them sharp all the time, yeah.
Steve says his sign attracts a lot of attention and curious visitors. He says he had to put it up for safety reasons.
We never had those out there, but the reason we put them out there was,
The signage, you mean, in the poles?
with my name and phone number, was we'd come out here and there'd be people up on the beams and the piles, you know.
Wandering around having a look.
Yeah, so that's eliminated that.
Yeah.
They wanted to have a look at it. And
WorkSafe New Zealand doesn't really like people standing on the pile of poles.
no, that's for sure.
Steve James is one man who just loves old wood and just can't bear the thought of seeing it end up in landfill or being chucked on a fire. He's not buying any more, as he has enough to last a lifetime. Or two.
Wood and wood and wood. Yeah. Half a mile of it. I need another lifetime to get through everything that I've got here. And I think that worries my son, really. He's worried he's going to have to move in here and deal to it. I've got more than enough. I don't buy any more of it. I don't look for it. Yeah, I've got more than enough to deal with.
But you still get lots of people who are really keen to take it off your hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's a commodity that's becoming scarcer by the day as wharves all over New Zealand and rail bridges get pulled down. It's not there anymore, and it doesn't deteriorate. You know, it keeps good.
Steve Evans talking to Mark Leishman at his recycled timber yard and sawmill in Oxford. Check out the photos and video on rnz.co.nz/countrylife.